Hi, I recently turned 36 2 months ago, and I thought it'd be fun to do a list of 36 pieces of advice that I've learned over the years. So I've compiled them into a list and I'm going to go through it with you. Now, this camera might move a bit, I'm hanging it on a tree. We make do with what we have. Number one, lift weights. This is probably one of the most important ones on the list for me. It's changed my body, it's changed my mindset, it's changed how I feel about myself. I was never one to go running. I was found cardio very grueling. I was incredibly overweight when I was younger, and I would feel very negatively towards myself and my body. I'd have a lot of negative self-talk about my body. And then I discovered weightlifting and I've never looked back. I love feeling strong. I love growing my muscles and changing my body shape and just feeling better about myself. I just feel stronger and more mentally tough and happier, and it's taught me discipline. Incredibly grateful for what lifting weights has done to my life, and I encourage anybody that's never picked up a pair of dumbbells before, like, start light and just build it up. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. You can get a personal trainer. Don't be intimidated, just start. Everybody starts somewhere and it will completely transform your life. Number two, don't wait until you're sick to take care of your body. This is quite a powerful one for me. I suffer with several autoimmune conditions. I didn't take care of my body when I was younger. I drank alcohol, I party, I did all the things that you did when you're a teenager, and I didn't eat well, I was overweight. And it's only from having health scares and health issues that I've learned that I have to put my health first and put my body first. I'm sorry I had to move out the beautiful nature and move location because it started to rain. So I'm sorry about that. We will continue inside. Number three, wear SPF every day. So I wear SPF 50 every day, even in winter. And it's not just because I have vitiligo. I have these white patches of no pigmentation on my skin, which has kind of spread from, I think I started getting it when I was about 15 and it started spreading all over my body. So I have to be very careful in the sun. But also I think it's like 80 or 90% of aging is caused by sun damage. So why not protect your skin from sun damage and skin cancer? A lot of people are scared of SPF on the internet. They think that it's, very dangerous and stuff. But if you get a natural, safe, mineral SPF, I love a brand called Sol de Ibiza. I'll actually link it below so you can have a look. But that's the brand that I use that's safe on skin and protects my body. But yeah, it's so important. We'll not leave the house without it on. So you should too. Number four, don't be the last one at the party. Now, I work in events and I throw many parties. It is never a good look to be the last one there. Nothing ever good happens after 2 a.m, so they say in the famous quote, and I definitely stand by that. Don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of fun after 2 a.m, but I think as I've gotten older, I just think that is something classy about kind of leaving earlier, and you're not missing out on much. I actually quite enjoy, getting a good night's sleep and not feeling rubbish the next day. Plus I don't drink alcohol, so sometimes it's hard for me to keep going energy-wise. So I kind of make sort of 2 a.m. my curfew, and then it's time for me to go, unless it's something very, very special. But I would say don't be the last one at the party. Your body will thank you for it. Number five, see everything as a lesson. Now, this is a big one for me, and it wasn't since my mum passed away at the end of last year that I really took this to heart. I think it's quite easy to revel in kind of the negative and the things that are going on in your life. But if you flip the narrative and you see it as a lesson, and that lesson is a positive because it's shaping you and changing your perspective and your experiences and you're growing from it, then you can kind of flip that on everything in life. Obviously, losing a parent is, it's awful, and I would do anything in my power to change it if I could, but there were lessons that I learned from that having happened to me. It's given me a lot more empathy for other people that are going through the same thing or have gone through the same thing, and I guess that's a lesson. So you've just got to look at the lessons and everything, and I think that really helps you to get out of the negative and to put a positive spin on everything. So I try and do that in every situation and think, what have I learned from this? And yeah, look at the positive. Number 6, people who criticize are either doing less than you or unhappy. 100%. Haters, people that write mean comments, people that say comments about people, it's normally jealousy or, they're not doing it themselves. So it's not easy to kind of shake like mean criticism or opinions that people have made about you, but you just need to keep thinking about that and realize that it's coming from them, and you just need to rub it off and carry on with what you're doing. Number 7, have your own source of income. I think this is incredibly important for women or men that are in a relationship where the other person is the sole earner. I think obviously everybody has different dynamics in relationships, and some things work and that might work for you, but for me personally, I found that being in a relationship where I didn't have my own financial stability was actually quite debilitating, and I felt a little bit trapped. And so I think it's incredibly important to have your own source of income. It gives you power, and it means that you don't let people get away with behaviors that they shouldn't be doing just because they have that kind of control over you. I think it's also very empowering as a woman to have your own income, so I definitely recommend it. You should always have something as a kind of security for yourself. Number 8, self-harm won't change circumstances, give you love, or make you forget. I find this is a really powerful one, and I think I wish that my younger self knew this, but it's something that I've learned over time, and it's really, really powerful. Number 9, the better you feel about yourself, the better the partner you'll find. Now, this is not from me, this is actually from my therapist. She always said that to me, and it's so true, because what you put out, you get back. And I might not have attracted my partner today if I'd met them sort of 5-10 years ago. I definitely wouldn't have, because I was a completely different person. So the better you're feeling about yourself, the more positivity you bring into your life. And I definitely stand by that. Read your ingredients. I think it's really important to know where your food is coming from, to look at the ingredients. I only learned like 5-6 years ago that the first ingredient on the ingredients list is what the product has the most of. So it's little things like that. And then I noticed, wow, that has got a lot of sugar, that's got a lot of oil, things like that. So it's important to learn about what you're putting in your body, nutrition, because it shapes everything. And so yeah, definitely read labels and educate yourself, learn what's good, what's bad for you. I tend to avoid seed oils, I tend to avoid sugar, I avoid all the nasties if I can. So yeah, reading labels is definitely an important thing. Number 11, you know who your real friends are when you're sick. This is 100%. Number 12, you know who your real friends are when you succeed. This is also 100%. It's interesting when you start posting things of your little achievements, things that you're happy and proud of, and you notice the people that are watching, but nobody writes anything to you or comments or leaves a little emoji. And I find that really interesting. And I just think, if your friends are doing well, like, you should congratulate them, because you know how hard they've worked. And also, if your friends are succeeding and they're doing well, then it can only reflect well on you, because they're bringing more positivity into their life, which affects you as their friend. So I don't understand why people get so jealous and frustrated when they see their friends succeed. I just think like there's enough room for everybody to achieve what they want to achieve in this world, and we all have space, we're all our own person. So I think you just have to celebrate your friends, and if they're not celebrating you, then you need to take a little look and think like, are they really my friend? So yeah, it's a juicy one. Number 13, want to be sexier? Self-discipline. Now, self-discipline doesn't sound very sexy, but when you put it into context, exercising regularly, eating well, sleeping well, makes you look better, makes you feel better, right? Having control over what you say and your actions, that's sexier. You know, a person that's all over the shop and is texting 100 million times a day and is clingy and needy and, you know, crazy, that's not very sexy over time. Maybe to some people, but, you know, I think there's something really sexy about being calm and watching what you say and taking care of yourself and winning in quiet and all these kind of things. So I personally have found that self-discipline is incredibly sexy. I also find it really sexy in a partner. You know, everybody is different and each to their own, but I think it's a really sexy trait. Self-discipline and consistency are very sexy traits. Number 14, quality over quantity. That goes for friendships, clothes, stuff in your house, everything, food. Always quality first. When I was younger and I was more insecure, I wanted to be surrounded by lots and lots of people. A lot of them weren't good for me, but I just felt like safety in numbers. But as I've gotten older, my friendships have developed and some have lost along the way, some have naturally progressed. And I just think that quality is so important. It's more important than everything. It's the same with clothing. You know, you could go to a brand and buy a piece of clothing that's made from polyester and you know that you're going to wash it a couple of times and it's going to look shabby and cheap. And then you can go to a brand and look at the quality of the material. So is it silk? Is it cotton? Is it linen? Is it hemp? Is it organic cotton? And you know that that material is going to last and you're probably going to care for it and give it more love because it's better quality fabric and you're going to love it more and care for it more. So I think when you have quality in your life over quantity, it's just so much better. Number 15, listen more than you talk. Oh, this has been a hard one for me to learn. I've always been a bit of a motor mouth and spoken before I've thought. And it's definitely burned me a few too many times in the past. So this is a really important one. It's something that I still need to tell myself. I haven't quite mastered it sometimes, but there's something really powerful about someone that's quite quiet and they're listening and they're observing. And then you notice that when they do speak, people hang on to their every word because they come across as a lot more intelligent. And I definitely am trying to work the muscle of this for sure. But yeah, number 15, listen more than you talk. Number 16, the right partner will want to communicate with you, not play games. Oh, this is so true. And you know, there's all my friends that are like, oh, what do you think? And they're trying to decode messages and what do you think that he's interested? And it's like, no, if he was really interested and he wanted to, he would communicate with you. He wouldn't put you in the back pocket. You know, maybe there's some exceptions to this rule, but I would say that if they really like you, they will tell you and they will communicate and it will be a natural progression. So yeah, don't waste time on games. Number 17, quit sugar. Yes. I have to quit sugar because of my health. I have insulin resistance, so I don't eat refined sugar and haven't eaten refined sugar for quite a while now. But I really deep dived and I only eat certain sources of natural sugar from fruit. Always have it with protein, and I don't have honey, I don't have maple syrup, I'm very careful with how many dates that I eat, and my weight has dropped. I have more energy, I feel better, my moods are better. I just think sugar is the root of all evil, honestly. And I think if people really stopped eating refined sugar and really looked at the ingredients of their food and what they were consuming, like, it would be so much easier for them to manage their weight and their moods, and they would just feel so much more energy and feel so much better. So definitely sugar is evil. And as good as it is, as delicious as it is, but you know, when you stop eating it, you stop craving sugary things, and actually the thought of eating something really sugary would probably make me go crazy hyper and then crash and feel terrible, and it's just not worth it. So yeah, number 17 for me, quit sugar. Not for everybody, but it's definitely been one of the best things for my health and for my body. Number 18, connections are everything. It's so important to connect with people and also surround yourself with people that are achieving. So if you're in a situation in life where you're like, I don't know that many people, and you know, you've left school and you only know your school friends, or you're in a small town, you need to put yourself in a situation, whether it be you move or a job where you've got a lot of people coming in and out that are high achieving, and you just surround yourself in that environment. That's what I did. I worked in hotels, and the amount of international people you meet, the amount of business people you meet, all kinds of creatives, personalities, and you're building up your black book and you're building up your network. And you never know, like a month down the line, you might think, oh, that guy Tim that I met who has this restaurant in blah, you know, or whatever, you know, and then you connect, and one door opens and it could change your entire life. You just don't know. So connections are everything, and it's definitely been one of the most amazing things that's happened to my life is some of the people that I've had the pleasure of knowing and meeting. Broaden your horizons, get out there and meet people. Number 19, don't wait to be ready, figure it out on the way. I think a lot of the successful people that I've met have just figured it out and done it anyway. You know, they've said yes and figured it out. So I think with anything, if you are so scared to start because you feel like you're not ready, sometimes that opportunity can disappear. So most of the time I just say yes and then just figure it out. I started doing this for the last 3 or 4 years, and my life has changed. I've said yes to things that, you know, I would never have thought I'd be able to do, and then when you do it, you get through it, and then you're like, it wasn't that bad. It's never as bad as you think it is. So just say yes, figure it out, get help, and you'll feel so much stronger and grow so much as a person for doing it. Number 20, always get a second opinion, or sometimes a third. Now, this is definitely true with like doctors and consultants. If you've got like a health concern and something in your gut is not feeling good, or you just want to speak to another expert, you should absolutely do that. But I also think it's important in business and important with sort of relationship advice as well, is like ask a couple of people that you trust. Don't always go with the first opinion. It also makes it easier for you to formulate your own opinions with a couple of, you know, people's ideas and thoughts. So I would say always get a second and third opinion with people that you trust. Number 21, keep a track of everyone's birthday. Now, you probably do this already, but I keep a track of everyone's birthdays, from my family, my friends, to my clients, and to sometimes people that I've met, like that I know that I want to keep in my life. Now, my old boss did this. I've not worked for him for like 5-6 years, and he still texts me on my birthday every year and says happy birthday. And it really stood out to me. I was thinking, you know, I didn't know him very well, but he remembered to send me a birthday text, and it really sat with me. And I thought, you know what, that's such a kind thing to do. So I incorporate it. I just put their birthdays into my Google Calendar, and then I get a reminder that comes up, whatever is easy for you. But I think it's really nice to not just rely on like Instagram and Facebook for people's birthdays, because it's easy to forget. And just a little birthday message a little goes a long way. So it's a nice way of keeping in touch with people as well. Number 22, don't drink alcohol. Now, this is definitely directed at my younger self. Now, don't come at me for people that love a glass of red and people that drink, you know, the occasional cocktail. Good for you. If you can control yourself and you can stick to one and it doesn't make you feel like crap, good for you. I just don't agree with it in every way. I think that it can ruin families, it can ruin your bank account, ruin your health, ruin your looks. It's drinking expensive water. Cutting it out of my life has definitely made me lose weight, build better relationships, look better, feel better, have more money, and, you know, take away a lot of the guilt that I felt from drinking alcohol. I think alcohol, my biological family, there's a lot of alcoholics, and I have probably a genetic disposition to have issues with alcohol, which I've had, and so I can't just draw the line at 2 drinks, and so I decided to draw the line completely. And there's no shame in going to AA and reaching out to support groups if you need. I went to AA. I wasn't drinking every day, but I just wanted to be part of a support group to get me through it. I think giving up drinking alcohol in your 20s is a tough thing to do, especially living somewhere like London where it's so focused on drinking alcohol. And so having that support group was really powerful, and it doesn't matter how much you drink or how little you drink, just being, or even if you've got a loved one that drinks lots of alcohol, you just want to go and get advice. I think that these groups are incredibly powerful, so shout out to the people that organise it. But yeah, for me, not interested in drinking, not tempted to drink, would never go back to drinking alcohol, and I do not miss having a hangover. I wake up feeling fresh every single day, and I wish I'd given up sooner. So definitely don't drink alcohol. Number 23, the cleaner you become, the more sensitive you are, and the more connected you feel to others and the universe. Now this kind of goes hand in hand with the drinking, but I think for me, stopping drugs, drinking, things that were kind of like a heaviness in my life has definitely made me feel more sensitive. I'm more sensitive to sight, smell, taste, sensations, people, the universe. I just think that my body feels a bit cleaner and sort of more pure. I know this sounds kind of mad, but I definitely notice it. And so I feel like I can connect more with people and I can connect more with the universe. So yeah, I think it's quite powerful. Try it for yourself and see if you agree with me. Number 24, self-discipline will support you more than anything. 100% agree. At the end of the day, it's you and yourself against the world. And, you know, if you don't have self-discipline, then no one's going to be there to pick up the pieces. You have to help yourself. So I think that self-discipline is one of the most important traits that you can have. And when you're in situations where life is tricky, it can really help you to keep going and to put one foot in front of the other and prepare you to be stronger for if anything like this happens. So I think self-discipline is important. 5, learn to be alone and love your own company. I think people are scared of being alone. I definitely was. I didn't like being alone, but now I actually revel in it. If you have a good relationship with yourself, then you can be the best company. And I think as people get older and everybody's working on their dreams, building families, or, you know, wanting to, you know, create a security for themselves for the future, I think it's quite a lonely age group, and people are kind of finding themselves and finding out who they really are. So it can be quite lonely, especially living in a city. I think it can be quite lonely as well. But it's taught me to appreciate the time that I have with myself and find ways to entertain myself and, you know, do things that make me feel good. And so I think, you know, it's important to learn to be alone. At the end of the day, we come into this life alone and we leave alone. So, you know, we have to be our own best friend to ourselves. Number 26, if it scares you, you should probably do it. Which it scared me going into the park with my phone and my camera holder and filming myself when there's people walking dogs around. It's scary, but I really enjoy doing this, and it's a fun little hobby, and I like sharing things with people. And so I think that if there's things in life, like there's been many things in life where I'm like, I get this sickiness in my stomach where I've been given an opportunity and I think, oh, I don't know if I can do it. And I know that when I feel like that, I need to do it because it's what I really want, and that's why I'm so scared. So sometimes the fear can be a really good teacher and point you in the direction of where you need to go. So yeah, listen to it because it can be very powerful. Number 27, meditate. I'm sure you already know about meditation. I do the Ziva meditation, so I meditate twice a day, and it's basically 10 minutes to 15 minutes, and I go through the steps, and that's something that really resonates with me. You can do guided stuff on YouTube, you can do it yourself. But it's definitely a really good way of keeping my mind calm, helping with my sleep, and helping to protect myself against any emotional things that might come my way. So yeah, I'm a big supporter of meditation. Number 28, no one is coming to save you. This is quite a difficult one. I think you kind of, when you're younger, you think your parents are going to save you. You think you might meet someone that's going to sweep you off your feet and save you. And actually, at the end of the day, like, no one really cares that much about your problems and about the things that you've gone through. And you got to save yourself. You got to help yourself. Like, no one's going to go out and do the thing for you. No one's going to go out and do the hard graft for you. You've got to do the hard work to get to reap the rewards. And yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, because sometimes it's hard to rely on yourself, but it's you just need to accept that no one is coming to save you, and just put one foot in front of the other and make stuff happen. Number 29, emotionally prepare yourself. So this was quite a powerful one for me when my mum was sick. She's been sick for many years, and you can't prepare yourself for losing someone. But when it got to sort of the 6 months where her health was deteriorating very rapidly, I doubled up my meditation, I doubled up my affirmations, I made sure I was exercising every day, I was eating well, I was making my mind in the strongest mental space that I could, so that when the inevitable happened, which it did, of course, I went to some really dark places, as you do, and grief, I'm still processing the grief, and I have my good days and my bad days. But if you keep your brain and your mental state as strong as you can, then it creates a protection. So if bad things do happen, you're as strong as you can be when you're faced with them. I also, when she was very sick, I started to see my therapist again, and more regularly, because I wanted to chat things over and process things, and then continue to chat to her after, because that made me stronger. So I think that you can't emotionally prepare yourself for everything in life, because life can throw curveballs and throw lessons at you. But I think if you keep yourself as strong as you can, then it's easier to deal with the lessons than if you don't. Number 30, tell people you love them and compliment strangers. I love to compliment strangers, but obviously it needs to come from a genuine place. But if I like their nails, or I like what they're wearing, or they've done something really kind, I like to compliment them, because I think that life is short, and why not make someone smile? And it makes me feel good by telling them something good that makes them feel good. So I just think sharing positive things and sharing compliments with people makes them feel good and you feel good, so it's a win-win. And also, I think that we don't often tell the people we love that we love them enough. I think sometimes we not take them for granted, but sometimes we forget. And I think that I wish I told my mum I love her 100 times more than I did, even though I told her a fair amount. But I think it's important that our loved ones know that we love them and we're thinking of them. Number 31, be your own doctor. Now this is tough. Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not medically trained. However, because of the things that I've had to go through, and you know, the NHS is under a lot of pressure, and you know, it's hard to get appointments, and certain things are not researched. And so I think with ChatGTP and with all these resources online, it's so important to be your own doctor. Plus, like, you are living in your body. You can note down changes, you can note down how you feel, you can make a diary, and you know, no doctor is going to be able to know your body as well as you do. So at least you've got all the data of your body, and you can record it, and then you can take it to a doctor and say, this is how I've been feeling, this is the timeline, this is the diary. It just makes it so much easier and quicker for you to be diagnosed, or quicker for you to receive the help that you need. And just listen to your body. And the more you listen to your body, the more in tune you'll feel, and then you'll notice if there's any imbalances or any kind of funny lumps or bumps that are coming. So yeah, definitely be your own doctor, be intuitive to your body. It's so important, and it's going to become more important as time goes on. 22, create more than you consume. Now, I do love a doom scroll at 9 o'clock at night, which I know is a naughty habit, and I do love to scroll and look at other people's content, and I think there's amazing content online and podcasts and things, but you definitely need to balance out and create, whether it's writing, reading, painting, walking, collecting, crafting, whatever it is that you like to do. I think as long as you balance it out and you make sure that you're giving time for that, and your whole day when you're not working or doing things is just consuming, I think it's quite negative. It can make you feel quite low and unfulfilled. So it's important that you fill your time with something you're working on. You know, it could be anything. Could be non-toxic, you know, thing that I like to do as a little hobby, which I love to do. I think it's a positive message that I'm spreading. It makes me feel good, and hopefully anybody that watches it, it makes them feel good too. So, you know, I'm creating and I'm putting my little stamp on the world, and I think that you should too. Number 33, don't take birth control. Now, this is controversial, and I'm not a doctor, but if I could change the clock, I would have never taken birth control when I was a teenager. My mum pushed me into it. I think a lot of girls were taking it to help with like hormones and things like that. And I definitely think it's created a lot more damage than good. And if I had a daughter, I would probably advise her against it. But you know, people have medical conditions and some people have to take it, and you know, pregnancy is real. But I would definitely, for myself, have never taken birth control. Number 34, find out from loved ones how they want to celebrate their life after they pass. So this is quite important, and it's, you know, people think death is morbid and they don't want to talk about it, but you know, it's important to know. Like my mum and I had a very tight relationship, and you know, we always used to talk about that stuff, and I'd tell her what I'd like and she told me what she liked. And then when she died and it came to planning her funeral, everybody was like, we don't know what she wants. And I was like, I know exactly what she wants. And it helped me process the loss because I could focus on it, and I felt like I was doing something good because I was doing what she wanted. And we created the most beautiful celebration of her life, and it was really special, and it was very her, and it had her stamp all over it. And I think that my family really enjoyed celebrating her, and I think that it was like really powerful. And you know, if I didn't know what she wanted, you know, we just done, you know, whatever. It's important that you speak about these important topics of conversation with your loved ones, because you never know, and it's an important thing to know. Number 35, read books. You can never read too many books. I will leave it there. Number 36, no one is you, and that is your power. I think it's so easy to compare ourselves to people online, our friends, our family, but at the end of the day, like, no one is you, and that's your USP. So I will leave it there, and I hope you enjoyed these 36 words of wisdom, things to celebrate my birthday, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you like my content, and let me know if you want me to talk about anything else or ramble about anything else. I really enjoy making these, and I hope you enjoy watching. Goodbye.